Good morning. Today we're going to do a lesson on figurative language, but first we're going to talk about how we are using technology in this lesson. How do you think we're using technology in this lesson? What do I have up on here? On my smartboard, which is what we're using for this lesson, I have what? What are these little blocks called? Google Slides. I have a Google slideshow on figurative language up on my smartboard, and we are going to use that for this lesson. We are also going to watch a video at the end of this lesson about figurative language. But before we begin, we're going to talk about the many ways that we need to use technology safely in the classroom. So, how to be safe with technology in the classroom? What does the first one say? Only visit approved internet sites. We are only allowed to go on internet sites that are safe in our classroom. And the school approves those sites. On the Chromebook that you use in school, are you allowed to go on everything? They block sites that are not safe for students. We are never allowed to give out our personal information. Do you know why? Because the internet is a very scary world. We don't know who's out there, and we need to keep our personal information safe. We are to tell our teacher if we see something uncomfortable or inappropriate on the internet. They may not know that that site needs to be blocked. Never download anything on the web without your teacher's permission. Do you know why? It could cause your computer to have a virus if it's a bad site. Be respectful of others when chatting online or posting anything. If someone is making fun of somebody on the internet, what is that called? Cyberbullying. That's one thing that we are not allowed to do, and you can get in a lot of trouble for that. If you copy anything off of the internet, you must cite where it came from. Because if we don't cite where it came from, we're stealing information that we didn't create. Do you understand? Do you have any questions? All right, so we are going to start going over these things on figurative language. What is figurative language? Do you know? Without looking at that, can you tell me anything about figurative language? No? Okay, figurative language is a word or a phrase that does not have its normal literal meaning. It is used by the writer to add dramatic effect. Authors use figurative language to make their stories more interesting. To the reader, figurative language can sometimes be a bit confusing. This is an example of figurative language. It's raining cats and dogs out there. If someone says it's raining cats and dogs out there, is it really raining cats and dogs? What does it mean? It's raining really hard. These are two of the different types of figurative language, a metaphor and a simile. So in a metaphor, it makes a comparison without using the words like or as. In this story, it says, the night was a black canopy. I think that just means it was very dark. So it's comparing the night to a black canopy, but it's not using the words like or as. Now in a simile makes a comparison using the words like or as. In this poem, the author says the boy was like a fast cheetah. That just means he was very quick. And as you can see right in there, he uses the words like or as. Do you have a handout? You can follow along as we're going through this. Here, we are right here, so go ahead and follow along. And you can highlight some of the important words. You can highlight like over here. That way you know that's what it compares. All right. The next type of figurative language we're going to talk about is personification. This type of figurative language gives human characteristics to non-human objects. The popcorn jumped out of the machine and made a mess all over the floor. This is personification because popcorn cannot really jump. The speaker just says that to help us visualize how it's popping out of the bag. If you heard someone say the popcorn jumped out of the machine, what would you think? That it was coming out like slow or fast? Fast. I would think the same thing. So that's personification. Have you ever heard of an idiom? No? Okay. An idiom is a type of figurative language that has an understood meaning different than that of its literal meaning. Sometimes certain idioms are unique to a culture or language group. In this passage, the author says that the girl was on top of the world after making an A on her math test. I think this means she was really excited about her grade. If you were on top of the world after you had a really good hit in a baseball game, what would you think? You'd be like really happy and in a great mood, wouldn't you? Because you just did something really amazing. All right, we're going to talk about two more types of figurative language. This one is onomatopoeia. Can you say that with me? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a type of figurative language where a word describes or mimics the sound of an object or action it refers to. Onomatopoeia appeals to the sense of hearing, and we use it when we write to bring a story or poem to life in the reader's head. If we're seeing something like, look, thunder is the thunder and lightning, we can say boom, crash, to add some type of images in the reader's head. And the last one, that's the last one. No, two more. Okay, hyperbole is a type of figurative language that uses strong exaggeration to make a point. In my book, one of the characters states, I had a mountain of homework last night. I think that just means that she had a lot of homework. So that's exaggerating big time. Alliteration is a type of figurative language that uses repeated consonant sounds to bring emphasis. The boy buzzed around like a busy bee. Was he really buzzing around like a bee? No. What do you think he was doing? Yeah, but they're all using the same consonant sounds. And what consonant sound are they using in this? B. All right, so that's it for the slideshow on figurative language. I am going to play a little video so you can see how really cool it is to see figurative language in music. You ready?
Yeah. You are the music in me.
See how that's a metaphor? That's also a metaphor. It didn't use like or as. That's just going over what we talked about, the definitions already.
I keep it like a rainbow. Like a small boat on the ocean.
Music is a really amazing way to actually hear figurative language being used.
For the first time in forever.
It's the house telling you to close your eyes.
Is the house really telling that person to close their eyes? Mm-mm. And is my heartbeat really running away? Mm-mm. Alright, we'll end with these. That's an exaggeration, isn't it? That person might be having a hard time falling asleep. Do you have any questions? Did you understand all that? Okay, we're gonna take the post test now, okay? All right, thank you.